These really look like shit. This is an absolute disaster. Did you know that corn is one of the best sources of resistant starch? Okay, I lied. It's technically not. It's not one of the best sources, but it is a good source of resistant starch. And resistant starch is one of the most important nutrients that you're probably missing. It's so important for gut health. It's so important for insulin sensitivity, and it can help stabilize blood sugar after meals. Resistant starch has actually been linked to reducing visceral fat, which is the fat around the belly, the really dangerous one. And here's the thing, corn is in season right now and it's fucking delicious. So we're gonna do a 3-course corn menu, much like the strawberry one that we did that you loved so much. So we're doing it again. Course 1 is gonna be a vegan corn gochujang sesame deviled egg. Course number 2 is going to be a cauliflower rice risotto type bowl vibe with kale and corn and some protein and some other yummies, we'll see. And course number 3 is going to be a salted corn ice cream mochi. Yum, that sounds delicious. Let's fucking get into it. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is make the egg whites for our deviled eggs. This is gonna be the exact same way that we did it in the truffle ramen episode. In fact, I actually just went and watched the reel from that episode to remember how I did the egg whites. So it was 2/3 cup of water, 2 teaspoons agar powder, and 1.5 cups of this soy milk. You can also, if you want it to actually taste like egg, then you should add black salt. I don't really give a shit about this tasting like egg, so I did not add black salt, but I would start with 1/2 teaspoon and go up from there. Now, a small problem that I'm having is the label fell off from the bottom of this jar, so I'm like 99% sure this is agar powder, but I'm not 100% sure that it's agar powder. So if this whole thing turns into a fucking disaster, that's why. But let's just get this going. So I'm gonna put 2/3 cup water in here, add the 2 teaspoons agar powder, mix it, and then start microwaving it just to get it to boil. And real quick, I wanna address this because there were some comments about this on that reel. You don't have to use a microwave. In fact, if you put it in a saucepan and heat it over a stove, it's far better. You have much more control. You know exactly what you're doing. I use the microwave because I'm lazy. You don't have to be lazy like me. It's just an option. Okay, that's exactly 2/3 cup. By the way, real quick, so I have my egg-shaped molds here. I also have every round measuring spoon that I own because that's how we're gonna make the cavity. Now for this recipe, unlike the soft boiled egg, the cavity is less important because our egg yolk mix, which I blended yesterday, I'll talk you through the ingredients. It's gonna be thicker because we're doing a deviled egg situation. So even if you had no cavity, you could just like spoon it on top and it would still create the same aesthetic, but we're gonna try to make a cavity. Okay, so we have 2/3 cup of this. I'm just gonna grab my immersion blender and plug it in and just get it ready. This is a teaspoon and this is hopefully agar powder. No, it's like, it's gotta be. There's just nothing else it could be. But like, who does this? So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. Once it starts bubbling up, like it has to hit a boil basically for the agar to get activated and gel up. While we wait for that, I will tell you about this egg yolk mix. So it is 1/2 cup of this soy milk, the Eden Foods unsweetened, 1/4 cup of toasted sesame oil. That's because I wanted it to have this kind of like Asian-y flair to it. You could also do a more neutral oil if you don't want that. In fact, it could taste better. I did 3 tablespoons of gochujang, 1 package of extra firm tofu. I use the 365 brand one. I love that one. It's 14 ounces. And then 1 ear of corn. I just like shaved it down the sides. I left it raw, blended everything together, and then I wanted it in the fridge overnight to thicken up. Shit, I haven't checked on this once. Okay, it's going good. I'm just gonna give it a little mix, but it's thickening up quite nicely. I'll also get our milk ready. Okay, that seems kind of perfect. I think this is ready. I unfortunately really was not watching well enough to know. Actually, I'll pop it back in just in case. I think it's agar though. I think we can conclude it is indeed agar. Yeah, this has gotta be good. Okay. I'm like actually kind of nervous. So I think I'll pour it in here. Slowly, so nothing curdles. This is kind of a disaster, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what we can do real quick. This is like starting to set already. It's not going well. I think I may have overcooked the agar too, so that's fun. Yeah, it's too bubbly. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, much better. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ignore this dog shit, and this will be what we use. So what I did wrong was 1, the agar went for too long, and 2, my cup wasn't big enough for the blending, so it wasn't blending super well. Now I'm gonna try to smooth out the top to take out those air bubbles. Because last I checked, that's not what eggs look like. Oh shit, I've also kind of been overfilling these. Okay, this is more chaotic than I feared it was gonna be. Like, it's just pure chaos now. I do love these egg white bites though. Just anything with agar is the perfect snack for me. There's something about it that's so filling to me. I know it has tons of fiber, but like I eat other things with tons of fiber and I don't quite have that effect from it. So I don't know, this really looks like shit. Like, I really have a pit about this whole thing. Oh, and I used the bottom of the milk, which was all foamy already. Just too foamy. But what we can do is cut the top layer off if we can't get any that are like no air bubbles. We can fix it in the styling. It'll be fine. I'm telling myself so I don't start crying. By the way, that reel from the truffle episode with the egg recipe in it has a lot of comments, and like it's an ongoing thing. That reel's been up for months and there are just people fighting in the comments section. It's so funny. I don't chime in, I just let it go. But a lot of fights about whether vegans should be eating things that look like eggs, or why do vegans eat things that look like animal products. Yada, 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 you know, that whole trite, which I will say, if you're not vegan and if you're wondering, I can tell you right now, it's because most of us weren't born vegan. We chose to go vegan for ethical reasons. And these really look like shit. This is an absolute disaster. But anyway, that's why we do it, to like replicate these foods that we know and love, that we miss, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, the fighting section and the fighting in that comment section is out of control. But my favorite was, there was this one vegan bitch who commented, yeah, I'm vegan and I actually think it's unethical to make foods look like animal products, like it promotes animal exploitation. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. She replied that in the fighting comment thread, but then she commented again and goes, like asked for a clarification on the recipe. And I don't usually respond to trolls, but this time I made an exception. I just wrote, I thought you didn't want to make it. And she didn't say anything. Like, what a cunt. Like, yeah, you're telling me I'm promoting animal exploitation by making a vegan egg. Okay, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna put this aside. We're gonna get going on, we're gonna char some corn, which will be both for this disaster situation and for our main dish. And then we're gonna get stuff together for our main dish, and then we'll do ice cream, and then we'll fuck off. Okay, we have some frozen cauliflower rice in the microwave. I like to put it in for like a full 7 minutes, and I did about 2 cups. I want to char some corn. We're gonna use it as a garnish for the appetizer and the main. And then I want to crush some corn nuts, which we're gonna use in styling our dessert and our main. So we're just gonna get that stuff out of the way. I'm just trying to pull the, what are these things called? Like the silk, whatever. Silk, the threads, whatever. And then we're just gonna put it directly over the heat. Hopefully I don't set the house on fire, because I was having a really hard time getting the gas canister in the right position. It was actually like really kind of terrifying. So yeah, that'll be fun. I mean, I think it would be great for the ratings if the whole house were to explode. I guess in that case, the files wouldn't really get out of the house. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen or it'd be a fucking disaster. Ooh, do we like my new nails? I got them done. I went back to, I asked for an oval. I still feel like this is a little almondy, but I am not into the super pointed almond anymore. So I think this is nice. And I do still love a square, but I decided I wanted to change it up, you know? Okay. All right, let's just say a quick prayer. Dear Lord and Savior, please don't let us all catch on fire here today. Okay, thanks. Bye. Ah! I'm just gonna turn it. Oh, barely got anything. In my mind, the whole thing was on fire, but you know. That one got a bit more. By the way, I always thought that there was a huge difference in terms of digestion and fiber in, holy shit. I don't think you can see it, but the heat from the flame is creating this mirage here. Like I can't see straight. It's actually kind of nuts. This is really cool to watch. Anyway, I always thought that cooking corn breaks down the fiber. I mean, we're basically doing popcorn at this point. Anyway, I thought that it really, like it sounds scary. Nice. Yeah. So I always thought there was a big difference in terms of how the fiber breaks down when you cook corn. Like I thought the fiber goes down quite a bit, but from the research I've done, that actually turns out not to be true. And in fact, cooked corn has more antioxidants than raw corn. And something really fun is Corn is really rich in 2 antioxidants that are really good for eye health and can help prevent macular degeneration, which my mom has macular degeneration, and I can tell you it is not fun. Like, you should be doing everything that you can to help prevent it. So yeah, like the cooked corn really doesn't lose that fiber. Now, one thing that it can lose is B vitamins if you boil it. So when you do cook your corn, it's better to grill it or steam it rather than boil it, so you don't lose all the B vitamins. Ooh, shit, it's really popping. Okay, look at that, that's beautiful. That's stunning. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted. It's funny how it has this little like diamond shape on the top. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the corn nuts. We're gonna crush them and then we'll get the other stuff together for our main and then move on. Okay, let's start by crushing our corn nuts. They're just dried crunchy corn. I'm gonna pour some in a Ziploc bag, just chop them up. We're gonna use it as like a crunchy topping for our foods. Okay, perfect. Now that that's done, I bought these tomatoes today. They were labeled as strawberry tomatoes. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know what that means. I mean, I think they're just called that because they kind of look like strawberries. I don't think it's deeper than that. I ate a few, they're delicious, but not like, oh my God, I don't know if it's a tomato or a strawberry. Now, generally speaking, you know that expression, foods that grow together, go together. Like anything that's in season together tends to pair nicely, and tomato and corn season overlaps quite nicely. So that's why we're gonna add some tomatoes to our main dish, which I'm really excited about. It sounds really good and it's different from things that I've done. Also, this is one of those situations where like I'm calling it quote unquote risotto because I want to be able to compare it to something, but like obviously it's not risotto. Like risotto is a very specific thing that has a very specific preparation method. It involves rice and the starches, yada, yada, yada. Clearly this isn't that, but it's going to kind of have the aesthetic, I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out together. I like cutting corn like this because I really like the aesthetic of when a bunch of kernels are bunched together like this. I think it looks really chic and really fun. I also truly cannot put into words how excited I am to eat all of this. Another thing that I love with corn and tomato is sesame. I think those pair really nicely. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna massage our kale with toasted sesame oil. And I'm already kind of stressed about it because I have on no fewer than 45 rings right now. So either all my rings are gonna smell like sesame oil or I'm gonna have to spend 45 minutes taking rings off and on. And I can't decide which is worse. Let me know in the comments. Obviously, I'll have made a decision by then, but truly let me know which you would rather do or not do, because I don't fucking know. This just screams summer, right? Like, I love summer. Isn't it the best? Isn't summer the best? Okay, let's go ahead and do our kale. A little toasted sesame oil, measure with your heart, but a tablespoon's always a good rule of thumb. I think I'm gonna leave the rings on and just deal with the consequences later. Just really get in with your hands. I can't imagine this is the first time you've heard about massaging kale, but it just helps break down some of the tougher fibers and make it more digestible and just like a little yummier. See how the greens even brighten up quite a bit? That's what we're looking for. Okay, pretty nice. I'm gonna wash the hands. Okay, now that we have that done, let's do our cauliflower rice and talk other additives and proteins. Also, I love how I started out with like 2 cups of cauliflower rice, and once it defrosts and cooks down, it's so little. So with this, I'm just mixing in our high protein cream cheese. This is the one that we used it in the brunch episode. We used it in the afternoon tea episode, in the hors d'oeuvres episode. We've used it a bunch of fucking times. I'll find the ingredients real quick. A half a cup of the Eden Foods soy milk, 1 package of the Morinu extra firm silken tofu, 1 cup of raw cashews, 2 tablespoons nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon lactic acid. You could even go lower, maybe start at 1/4 teaspoon and then go up from there, because not everyone likes things as fermented in flavor as I do. 3 tablespoons of white miso, 2 tablespoons refined coconut oil. It has to be refined, otherwise it will taste like coconut, which is not what we're going for. We just want to add a bit of saturated fat because real cheese has a lot of saturated fat, so we're just trying to kind of replicate that feeling. So I did like 2 tablespoons of that cream cheese mixed with this to give it kind of a risotto-y structure, if you will. And then for protein, I originally was gonna crumble up some tofu or tempeh or something, but then I really just wanted plain tofu crumble to almost look like a bit of crumbled cheese kind of vibe. I think that would be kind of cool. But I also have leftover gochujang tamari tempeh from a couple of episodes ago. I think it was in the high protein episode. All we did for this was saute it with the Algae Club gochujang oil and lots of tamari. That's it. So there's that. And then for the tofu, I want to use this Jenny's tofu. Hold on, I put the packaging in the trash. Not me just fishing shit out of the garbage. So this is the box. I really, really love it. Any extra firm tofu will work. I do love the texture of that one. So we're gonna crumble that on top. We also have an avocado. I feel like I should wash my hands since I was just inside the garbage like a raccoon. When I was early days in my eating disorder, I used to order just like insane amounts of food and then like binge eat and then be like, okay, no, I'm gonna throw the rest of this away so that I don't eat it anymore. And I'd throw it away, but then I'd go fishing for it in the garbage. So then I learned I had to throw things down the trash chute. Okay, this avocado has seen better days, but we'll still use her. And then we have our flash pickled cabbage and onions. We first made this in the meal prep episode, what feels like an eternity ago. It's literally just shredded red cabbage and red onion with vinegar on top. That's it. You just let it sit. It can stay like forever in the fridge. I just always have a jar ready to go. So that's all the stuff that we need for our main dish and for our eggs. So let's go ahead and get the mochi situation on the ice cream first, and then we'll plate everything and style everything and then eat. Okay, so I want to get the mochi situation together for the ice cream, but I do have to preface this. This is not real authentic mochi. Real authentic mochi is made with glutinous rice flour, and it's a whole thing. We're doing a lazy girl version of it. Some might call it a cultural appropriation version of it. So we're gonna use rice vapor. I made the ice cream yesterday so that it would freeze. So we're gonna do the rice vapor part and wrap the ice cream in that. Now, I've never done this. It might be an epic fail, in which case we'll just eat the ice cream plain. That's fine. But I wanted to try it, and I thought in order to make the rice vapor part yummier and not so bland, what if we use coconut water so that it has some sweetness? I cannot emphasize strongly enough how little I know if this will work or not. It could just be an epic waste of coconut water. But you know, these are the risks that we take. I mean, I made some fucking like ugly ass looking egg whites, okay? Sometimes things just don't go your way, and that's fine. That's just life. Now for this, I have made kind of rice vapor mochi before, not with anything frozen. That's the part where I don't know if it's gonna work. But one thing I find is that you really need this to hydrate for longer than you think so that it gets really gelatinous. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab parchment paper. Okay, this should be getting there. Also, let me grab the ice cream and I'll tell you how I made that. It's actually quite simple and high in protein, and sugar-free. I use these Cutie Super Cubes molds for these. So, oh shit, this needs to come out. Shouldn't be hydrating for that long. So for the ice cream, it was 2/3 cup of raw cashews soaked, 3/4 cup of the Eden Foods unsweetened soy milk, 2/3 cup of pitted medjool dates. Again, per usual, you really want to pack in those dates, like 5 to 6 big juicy ones at bare minimum. See how this looks like shit? That's exactly what we were going for. Oh, I should have been soaking another piece. 2/3 cup of corn, that's about 1 ear, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now, this ingredient is quite important, not just for flavor, but also because vanilla extract is an alcohol, and the alcohol helps the ice cream not get too icy. It helps it have a nice texture. And along with that, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, similar function. Ah! Things are going great here, if you're wondering. I'm just gonna try to pop a couple of these out. Okay. 3 seems like a good number. Yeah, see, this I feel like could have soaked for 20 minutes longer. It's just harder to wrap and it's like less of the texture that we want, but I don't know. This really looks like dog shit. Holy crap. I don't think I've had an episode where so many things went wrong. It's really not good for my self-esteem, let me tell you. No, this is so ugly. But we'll like top it with stuff to make it more aesthetically pleasing, hopefully. Hopefully, I don't know. Okay, let's just put these on a plate, get them back in the freezer and out of my sight for now so I don't have a meltdown. And then let's get to styling all 3 of our dishes and then we're gonna eat and then this shit show will be over. I wonder if I can drink the rest of this, like out of the plate. Yummy. Okay, so these eggs really truly look like shit, but I'm hoping that cutting the top layer off will kind of fix the vibe. You know what? I will say the texture is immaculate. So at least there's that. Okay, now this one has no cavity, but beggars can't be choosers. Again, what I did wrong was the agar overcooked and the vessel wasn't big enough to be able to blend it correctly. So nothing set right, but it is what it is. Now, because these have no cavity, I'm just gonna spoon the yolk on top and we're gonna cover it with a lot of garnishes because that's kind of the only way out of this mess at this point. So we're gonna put kind of a thick dollop of yolk onto this disaster of a situation. Let's add some dried miso flakes. Perfect. Some of the charred corn just everywhere. Nice. I don't hate it. Some chili crisp, our Lord and Savior. Sprinkle a little bit on the plate for aesthetics. I'd love a little pop of green on the plate, but I don't have chives. Oh, scallions. Wow, am I crazy or is this starting to look not like complete dog shit? I'm trying to decide if I should add edible flowers or not. I'm gonna take a few photos. I think I'm gonna leave it as is. I just think they're so beautiful. Okay, let's move on to our main. Okay, so for this, let's do a base of kale. We'll add our cauliflower rice in kind of chunks almost. Add more kale. And then just go ham with the corn, the tomatoes. Let's crumble some tofu on top. We'll add our tempeh. Add some avocado. This avocado is so ugly, I'm not even gonna add more of it. Disgusting. Let's pretend it's not there. Our pickles. And then more corn on top. We'll do some of our crushed corn too. Crushed Crispies. I also want to add some tahini, some chili lime salt, and some edible flowers. I feel like we need a little more visible green too, so I'll just throw a bit more kale on top. For edible flowers, I'm actually just doing corn flour, you know, so on theme. Also, one of my favorite edible flowers. It's just so versatile, and I think it looks so beautiful when you pull the petals off like this. It comes in different colors. This is my favorite, obviously. Okay, that is objectively beautiful. A few photos. Cool. Let's do the ice cream. Okay, for this, I have some yellow plant-based food coloring powder. I want to try sprinkling that on top. Keyword here being try. Oof. Okay. I don't hate it, I guess. Now some of this crunchy corn. Maybe we add a bit of corn flour too. Okay, that actually came together quite nicely. Okay, that actually is starting to look kind of beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's eat, yeah? Oof, I'm so excited to eat. All right, I put the eggs in the fridge to help them firm up a bit more. So I'm gonna go grab those. We'll just eat in order as though we're having a meal together, yeah? Okay. Okay, I feel like this recipe nearly killed me, but it was worth it. So good. Yeah, it's really nice. I kind of want to eat another one. The chili crisp made it. Wait, what if that wasn't agar? It could have been potato starch. Okay, this I'm so pumped for. Just so many layers to this. Okay, I think I need a fork. This is not a chopstick friendly bowl, but we'll try. We'll do fork. That is delicious though. There's so many layers of flavor and texture. I don't want to be dramatic, but I think this is the perfect summer bowl. It's really good. Okay, I love that. Let's try our ice cream. Oh God, everything's gonna get orange. Truly no notes, 10 out of 10. Rice paper hack, genius, baby genius over here. The crunchies on top, fucking perfect. Are my teeth yellow from the food coloring? Yes, they are. Maybe I eat it upside down. Also with that bowl, I will say, do not skip the chili lime salt. Do not skip the pickles. Do not skip the, don't skip any of it. Everything in there is critical. Same with this. That's actually insane. That's so fucking good. I will say, I feel like this was a labor of love, but fuck me, the final products were so good. You should definitely make some of this shit. Tag me if you do. Yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. Rate, review, subscribe, share with me. You know the drill. Love ya. We'll see each other next week. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow. You're gonna put on headphones, you're not gonna watch and listen?